Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, Tanks Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 3 Halloween tanks in World of Tanks Blitz that have come out through the years. Now, what I mean by the top 3 or the top 3 most overpowered vehicles. So vehicles like the Dracula, the Smasher, the Tankenstein, the Helsing. I'm going to be listing my top 3 picks on what the best are. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Of course, if you enjoy content like this and you want to see more, please make sure to consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as it helps out the channel a crazy amount. But of course, let's get straight into it. We're going to be starting off in the number 3 position, not actually the Dracula, but going on to the counterpart, the Helsing. This was the second Halloween tank event to come out in World of Tanks Blitz. You could have actually earned this or the Dracula for free, which is kind of crazy to think about now, judging that these tanks come out in crates, and in fact, this will be coming out in a crate with a 5% drop chance. This vehicle was one of the most overpowered when it came into the game at that time, and even with power creep setting in, it still is such a ludicrously strong vehicle. So of course, in today's video, I'm going to be playing it live for you. We're going to be talking about not only this vehicle, but 2 other tanks I think are even better than the Helsing Raven. So, yeah, this tank, as I said, will be coming into the stores with a 5% crate drop chance. And you know, one thing I've learned is that, while I do really despise crates, and at one point I really didn't have money to buy crates, so something that I still really don't enjoy about World of Tanks is that, you know, crates really don't get you a lot, but the other hand is that people buy crates all the time, and it's something that I don't understand, is people complain about crates being in the game, but yet they buy them. From a wargaming standpoint, I don't blame them at all for bringing crates into the game, because they make money. It's one thing that, you know, if you're going to make money and people keep buying them, then why not keep doing them? So I'll always say that crates aren't worth it, but I'm not going to blame wargaming for bringing crates into the game because it makes them a lot of moolah. But talking about the Helsing now, what is good about this vehicle and what is bad? Well, the crazy thing about this vehicle is, you'll notice there, we just did 395 damage for a dual shot firing there. And that's the crazy thing about this tank, is that it fires double shot shells. So I'm able to fire bing bing for 0.1 seconds here. We'll see if this T-29 wants to test us again. There you go, another 156. Another nice thing is that, hey, what if your shells don't penetrate? Well, that's nice, because you got a second shell to always fire as it is coming out of the gun. So we got that T-29 still sitting out in the open. It doesn't look like we're ever going to be able to hit him, but you know what? We did get that out. And one thing that always stuck with me about the Helsing, something that Bushka actually said many years ago when he made, I think it was his second top 3 video or top 5 video on the most overpowered tanks, is he said that the Helsing is kind of like a doctor, where it can perform any single role in the battlefield. It's got the mobility to, you know, deal with medium tanks. It goes 60 kilometers per hour. Not only does it go 60 kilometers per hour, but it's got the penetration at 170 to deal with heavy tanks. Of course, even at tier 8, you can still wreak, you know, havoc on the heavy tanks. As well, you've got the damage per minute, 2600 DPM. It's only an 8.9 second reload for 400 damage. Tier 8 heavy tanks wish they had that much DPM. So this vehicle not only has all that, but it's also got crazy damage per minute going for it. So a vehicle like that Stritzwagen really does not want to play with us, or this one over here. Let's see if we can get some shells in. Bing bang, and there goes the Stritzwagen, and that's even, you know, not the most damage coming out of this gun. So now we got the enemy Stritzwagen there, who actually does have good gun depression, one thing I do want to keep in mind. We've also got the Hellcat off to the side. I don't really care if this guy hits me once, that's not the worst. I kind of want to deal with the Hellcat over here. The great thing as well about this vehicle is that the HE damage, I think, is around 300 per shot, which means the HE on this tank is going to deal 600 average damage with 2 shells. Kind of crazy. So we've got the SU-100 over to the side, who I would love to be able to shoot. I will say this, the Helsing is by far an overpowered vehicle. I definitely will say it is, you know, just broken. There's nothing I can say balanced about the tank. It just gets out the damage crazy. Like there, that was 367 hit points taken off of that SU-100, and I'm not even worried about him, honestly, killing me here, because again, I've got that mobility to get 2 more shells in him. So there you go, another 2 more shots, and yeah, that's pretty much going to be the end of that poor SU-100 here. So, ooh, nice shot there from my Lupus. Not finishing him off, but we're going to back up here and see if we can get 1 finishing shell in. There you go, finishing off the SU-100. So now we got the Lupus, we got the Peter over here. We'll see if we can get some more deadly shots out. So hopefully that Lupus, there you go, finishing off the teammate. Now we got the Peter off to the side, and again, I can use that excellent mobility here. Ooh, nice shot from my KV-2 there, ripping a massive hole into that Peter. And now we can use, again, that excellent mobility here to try and get some shells into the side of this guy. Cannot pen HE, but again, that's 406 hit points we whipped off of that poor guy. And we're going to see if we can maybe get a shot into the KV-1S, because, of course, looks like my teammates are going to be able to get a shot into you. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get out much more damage here. But again, this is a great battle just to show how strong the Helsing is. I was able to pretty much take out a full health T-29, then go deal with the mediums. And yeah, that's just what the Helsing is. It's an extremely overpowered tier 7 tank destroyer. That's something that I don't even get. It's why it's a tank destroyer. It should have just been a medium tank in my personal opinion, but yes, the Helsing is one of the most overpowered tanks. It's one of the most fun tanks to run as well. It didn't seem like I got 2600 out, but yeah, that was a tier 7 game, a stupid quick one at that, and we still got out 2600. 600 damage. So I absolutely love the Helsing. It does well against tier 8s, tier 7s, and of course, it smashes tier 6s. But of course, let's jump down into the number 2 position, being the Lycan. This is a really, really nice looking tank. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking Halloween tanks Wargaming has added. I think that they also made a bunch of ugly vehicles, like, let's say, the Vulcan. This thing is absolutely hideous. There's a couple vehicles that I love the look of. The Annihilator, which is right off to the side there, in my opinion, is extremely ugly. Looks like a 1960 robot tank thing. I really do not like the look of the Annihilator, but the Lycan here looks great, and it also plays super well. It, first of all, has a very nice 400 damage gun. It's not like the Helsing's where it's 2 shots, but it, of course, has that 400 standard damage, and as well, the high explosive on this tank is way higher than your average 122, sitting at 515 average, so very, very nice on the gun. Not only does it have all of the damage values going for it, it also has decent pen, 184 on the standard. Now, of course, I am running calibrated, but still 175 is very nice. 231 is going to be able to get through most of the tier 8 heavies you are up against, and it's got decent damage per minute, sitting at 1767. The best thing about this vehicle, though, is when you look at the armor profile, you'd think, maybe it's got 5-6 degrees of gun depression, kind of like an Object 252. It's got a weak lower plate, thick frontal armor, the turret armor is solid. Well, it's got 10 degrees of gun depression, which is where this tank becomes overpowered. If it had 6 or 7 degrees, I'd be like, yeah, it's pretty good. But 10 degrees means that not only can you work any single ridgeline in the game easily, your upper plate is literally impenetrable. You cannot pen the upper plate because it's got that pike nose design. It is super hard to deal with. The tank also has good mobility, going 35 kilometers per hour forward. I think, what is it, 15 in reverse? So it's got good mobility factors going for it, and it's got great armor. So there's really nothing bad I can say about the vehicle. I can't say the gun is not the best. It's just kind of like getting an IS gun and then bringing it onto this vehicle, but it's the armor that makes it so solid. Kind of like the Object 252 where, yeah, the gun's decent. It doesn't have the most aiming time. It's got the worst dispersion for all the tier 8 heavies, but it's got that great, or at least all the tier 8 Russian heavies, should I say, but it's got the armor to make up for that. And that's sort of how this vehicle works, is the armor really makes up for the vehicle not having the best of guns. And of course, Alpha is still key in my opinion, and this Alpha works a great amount. It's also got a great power to weight ratio. You can see you're easily getting into position. I also like, I think those are wolf horns, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure, and this correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Lycan or something like that means wolf or something in World of, I think it means something. That's what it stands for in World of Tanks Blitz, at least. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do think so. So what do they have? They got a Panzer 58, they got a Dracula, LTTB, Leo. They got a lot of medium tanks, which is why I'm sort of pushing over towards the medium side. I'm not sure, of course, if they're going to be going here, but I never like to go towards the heavy side. That's one thing I always say. I never push there anymore. And the reason for that being is actually because when you push towards the medium side, or the heavy side, should I say, tank destroyers like to shoot you across the ridge. Now, they actually don't have TDs this battle here, but I pretty much expected, just looking at their lineup with the tanks they have, that they were going to push towards the medium side. So we got the Moots on the side there. We also got the Leo. It'd be nice if we could get a big high roll into the side of that Leo there. Maybe, just maybe. Come on, Leo. Let me get a little snap into you. Ooh, there's the Dracula, and there's a nice 420 roll. The perfect number, of course, but that's, of course, our big Alpha. Does come in handy when you get those big, nice shots. Now, of course, that was going to pen me because I turned the tank to the side there, but that's because, of course, I want to get a shot into the side of the Moots here for another 414 roll. Gotta love that big Alpha here. Now, my team is not all here. Definitely a little bit of an issue. In fact, I'm going to back up as quickly as possible here because I don't want to be hit by all of the enemy vehicles. Now, this E75 test probably going to pen me, but I'm going to try and tap a shell into you before. Yes, there we go. Nice shot into you. There's a nice bounce as well from the Leo. Got to love that fantastic armor this vehicle does carry on it. So all we have left is the vehicle like the Dracula off to the side. We also got the Moot, and of course, going to get a nice big HE into the side of his vehicle there. Actually getting a massive roll as well on the high explosive. Gotta love that. 7 seconds more, we'll be able to get a nice shot into the enemy there, but we got to back up. I've got to back up as quickly as possible as well. Nice bouncing on the Helsing. Another nice shot into him as well for 440. Now, you can notice my team is falling apart very, very quickly. In fact, quicker than I want them to, and that's definitely not good for me here. That E75 TS is still full health, not necessarily great for me. We've got the Leo off to the side, which we did get a big shell into. Like, don't get me wrong, that was a big, nasty shot into the side of that player, and in fact, that E75 TS turning around here is fantastic for me, but at the same time, we're getting slapped quite badly here. I've got to now try and side scrape against that Helsing. Now we've got the Dracula, who once again hit a nice shot into the side of me, so we're doing the best we can here, and I was taken out. Sadly, my team just, I don't really know what they were doing, to be fair, but you know what, we might win this, in fact. Come on. Oh, low roll there. Come on, AT, I believe in you. You can get one more shell out. Get him. Yes, there we go. So I don't think we're going to win this. Our team, as you can see here, is not necessarily the best. It's not a lot of, not a lot our team can do anymore to win this battle. But I can definitely tell you that you can see just from the gameplay pulled out in the Lycan there, this was a great battle pulled out. We did the best we could on the damage. You know, I got out a bunch of big damage shots. And, you know, while our team wasn't necessarily the best, I still carried the best I could. And it definitely showed that even when I wasn't using gun depression, I still bounced a very large amount of shots. Now, the sight armor on the tank is decent. It's not great. You'll notice I got hit by that Dracula a couple times. I couldn't really back up. That was the biggest issue I had. If I was able to back up quick enough, I probably could have gotten away, but I definitely was not able to get away quick enough. I just want to see how I did perform in this battle here. So we can watch this this great IS-5 here get ripped apart by the Emil one. Ooh, and he bounced a shot on the Emil as well. That's not going to go well for you. I will say, Dracula is probably one of the most annoying Halloween tanks. If you ever go up against those things, they are so annoying, but it doesn't have the most pen. The premium's actually good, but ooh, and he bounced another heat shell on the Emil. Yes, this guy is best player. As you can see, medium. He's actually a light tank if you didn't know how he flanked there. But you know what? We did good. As I always say, if I do a good job in any tier, I don't care. And that was a 3,000 damage battle there. You can see my team, yeah, not necessarily the best. Yeah, not the best. But we did a good job, so can't complain. And you can definitely see that even when you're in a very bad scenario against tier 8 opponents, you still get out those big whopping shells for the Lycan. So you probably all know what the tank is for the #1 spot. It's not even a question. It's right next to the Lycan. It would be this boy, the Smasher. Now, there's really nothing I can say that's balanced about the vehicle. It's going quick. It goes 35 kilometers per hour. It's got good average speed at 26, good power to weight ratio, turns very quick. The charge reverse speed as well is decent for what it is. Not only does it have all those things, it does 640 damage a shot. The HE does 960. It's got 94 millimeters of high explosive pen. So you have the ability to literally one-shot enemy opponents, and your heat does 275 millimeters of premium pen. Now, of course, that is with calibrated, which means that you are going to have to run calibrated. But honestly, if you're not running calibrated on this tank, at least in my opinion, you're going to be doing a lot less effective because you want to have that heat pen. This tank is stupid on almost every single statistic. Even a vehicle like that E75 TS, if I can get a shell into his lower plate, I'm going to out-trade every time. So it's just the ability to out-trade enemy opponents like every single time, 5 times to 1. It's stupid how crazy the vehicle is. It's got good mobility, as I said here. And I also don't think the vehicle's ugly. Again, I don't think that this is an ugly event tank. I think that, well, it wasn't really an event tank, but I don't think it's an ugly one. I think that this one actually looks decent. Not as good as the Lycan, but it's definitely up there for the nicer looking vehicles. So, here we go. We're pushing into position. We'll see if we can get out some nice shots into the enemy. So here we go. We got the E75 TS right off to the side. Didn't necessarily want to be detected by him, which we were. Well, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? But we'll see if we can hold well here. We've got our Type 62 Dragon off to the side. We've got the E75 TS over here. And it doesn't look like the enemy's pushing over here. The issue is if I pull too far out, we're going to be shot. And, of course, I don't want to be hit. But at the same time, I don't know what the enemy team's planning on doing. Oh, you know what? We got the Black Prince off to the side there, actually. Let's see if we can get a nice penetrating shot. Yep, there we go. So he got a max roll on us, which, of course, you know, did hurt, but not as much as we hit him. We got an average roll on him, and, yeah, he's already very low on the hit points. So we'll see if we can get another shell into him here. Another 3 seconds, we'll be able to load one more shell in. So, yeah, there's the Black Prince, and there's another 600 damage shot. So he's managed to take off about, what, 360 hit points off me, and I've managed to take off, oh, just, you know, all of his HP. Not much. So we got the Black Prince there once again. We're just going to side scrape this out and load an HE. So let's see if he's going to sit there. Maybe not. Ooh, he was really tempted to pull out. Oh, come on, dude. You know you want to. Don't you want to play with this Smasher? Maybe not. Okay, well, we can try and deal with the tanks off to the side. It looks like we're winning both sides currently, which, of course, is fantastic for the team. I don't want to be hit by that E75 TS, so I'm going to go as quickly as I can. There we go, able to get away. And I kind of want that E75 TS to push out, which he did, which is fantastic for me, which means now we can back up. Do I want to take the trade? Honestly, I kind of do. Let's back up here. Let's see if we can get a shot into... Ooh, we're not even detected. That's better for us. Here we go. We got the E75 TS aside. Let's fire a... we'll do a heat shell. There you go. 564 hit points again taken off of that poor guy. And that's just how this tank works. It gets out stupid high damage shots. We got the SU-152 in the back of the map. We don't even have terrible damage per minute, to be honest here. I can just pull right out. I don't even care if he pens me. And, yeah, we're just going to aim slowly in on his vehicle and go... Oh, that was an unfortunate bounce. That was, possibly one of the weirdest bounces I could have gotten from that vehicle. Now, the Lycan has good armor, unless you are shooting at the turret, although that is a lupus. I was calling that a Lycan the entire time. Look at Droodles being big-brained here. Now, I don't know if that Lupus can aim high enough to hit me. In fact, he can, but you know what? That's not the worst. We can see if that Lupus wants to take the trade with me here. Not able to shoot him currently, but you know what? That's not the end of the planet. We'll see if we can get a nice shot into the Lupus. Here we go. Come on, Lupus. Let's aim an H at that cupola. There you go. 986 hits points on the cupola of a tier 7 heavy. So, yeah, fair and balanced. As you can see, that is an example of the Smasher for you. This wasn't even a great game. This is just an average game for the vehicle. You know, I average about 3,000 in this vehicle on an average day, which is, again, for a tier 7 heavy, quite OP. This is by far the most overpowered tier 7 heavy in World of Tanks Blitz. In fact, the most overpowered tank, I would say, tier for tier in the game. It's got stupid damage per minute for what it is. It's got stupid penetration for what it is. It's literally got everything going for it. And because of that, it's definitely broken by every single means standard. And of course, we might be able to get one finishing shot into. Nah, we weren't able to get it out. But I had to take the risk there to try and get the shot out. But again, stupid eye damage game. We did our job. We were able to pretty much out-trade everybody that we went up against. And yeah, that's my top 3 picks for the vehicle. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you agree with me. Of course, if you enjoyed today's video, as always, please make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. Now, as I said, this is an opinionated video, so if you have your own personal opinions, if you think the Tankenstein's better, if you think the, I don't know, the Gravedigger's better, let me know. But of course, don't just come yelling at me, oh, you're wrong, because it is a very opinionated video. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.